Hello everyone, I'm Kitsunefuzzy and welcome to the third devlog entry for my little ball game. This week we are fixing the game's pacing, fighting some nasty Unreal Engine packaging errors, and exploring a brand new cave level. So, let's get right into it. First up, thanks to your input on the previous videos, I've changed the yellow gems. They are no longer necessary to activate the goal. This means you can rush the level if you like, or take your time and collect everything. I feel like using them as a currency on an overworld later on to open gates or extra paths to access something like Mario World's Switch Palaces, to activate safety nets or shortcuts. Sounds like a really fun way to reward players. And switching from the small gems to the big red ones, these used to be solid placeholders, but I finally made them collectible with a nice visual effect. There will be 3 of these hidden in each level, tracked by a new UI indicator. Their purpose is mainly for the 100% completionists out there, kinda like Dragon Coins in Mario. Maybe rewarding you with the golden ball when you collect all of them might be worth considering. And speaking of placeholders, I finally pushed myself to replace the goal model with something better looking. I added a shiny effect that can be seen from afar, which gradually fades out as you get closer so it doesn't blind you. Previously, you just jumped through the gem in the goal, which I should still probably replace since it looks like a regular red gem. But now you get held in place and the satisfying little jingle plays. On the other side of the level, we have to start. I previously used the starting platform from Unreal's game templates, and ironically enough, it really grew on me. So I basically just reworked the mesh into something that fits the game's aesthetic better than the standard grey box grid cubes. I see it as a fun little nod to the engine that enables me to build all of this so easily. And then I had my actual first time. Well, get your heads out of the gutter. My first time touching Unreal's meta sound system. I use it for the background music because it allows for looping back to specific points in the sound file rather than the very beginning. This is super useful for tracks that have an intro that shouldn't repeat in the main loop. I encapsulated this inside an actor blueprint where I can easily set the audio asset and the intro duration. The loops are so much smoother now. Assuming I continue to prepare every single track for that. But now, let's get to the elephant in the room, a new level theme! I didn't want the player to just go through grass level after grass level after grass level after grass level. So I started work on this cave theme, featuring crystals and glowing mushrooms. To make decorating easier, I combined the mesh, light and particle system into a single blueprint. But that turned out to cause some massive headaches. Turns out, Unreal doesn't really like child actors in blueprints, especially if some of them create dynamic material instances in their construction scripts. Which my particle system did! Everything looked fine in the editor, but as soon as I tried to package the game, I was bombarded with errors. I'm so glad I caught that early. I tried unpacking the blueprints using a star asset, but it just reset the lights and the particles to their default values. My final solution was replacing the particle systems in each blueprint with a custom Niagara system for each color and size. It might be more work if I need to adjust them later, but it compiles now, and that is the most important thing. The main focus for these cave levels will lie on rocky and crumbling environments. Level 3 specifically introduces falling platforms. Roll onto them and they start shaking before dropping completely. Well, eventually the player will fall down with them. So you have to keep your momentum going. But to be fair, for the first encounter, I'm not punishing you with instant death. There is still solid ground below to help you get used to the mechanic. Later in the level, on the other hand... And in the middle of this level, where there's this climbing wall where you jump from platform to platform, I tried adding a fixed camera system to give a better perspective on the challenge. However, I quickly found out it actually made the jumps way more difficult than the normal gameplay camera. So that idea is officially scrapped for now. Oh, and I have a question for you, my devlog connoisseurs. What do you want the focus of these future devlogs to be? Posting about the progress of every single level will eventually spoil the whole game for you. Would you prefer rough overviews of general progress like this video? Or do you want more in-depth explanations of blueprint setups like the logic behind the falling platforms? Maybe a closer look at level creation, 3D modeling or material setups? Well, let me know in the comments what keeps you coming back to these videos. Feel free to choose multiple. That's where I'll leave it for this entry. Hope to see you again next time. Until then, have a good one. Bye bye!